Good morning, good day to you. Thank you for joining Dana's Daily Doodles. And today is National Caroling Day. Happy carolers. I'll be caroling on Monday for some uh, elderly and less fortunate and trying to hold a tune. So that'll be fun. And please join me this morning on this life application Bible study, just to look at everyday life, the word stress, and what we can break that down to feel like. And just join me, and we will have a good conversation on that. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me on Dana's Daily Doodles. And on my video, I need to raise it up a little bit. It's my phone on a stand. That way my head won't be chopped off. And I just wanted to come in this morning, say happy holidays to you. And this is a good time, a happy time, a sad time, and stressful time, right? All of that into one. One thing it can be is extremely sad for many people. And that I feel bad for. And many people and families and across the world and United States can't even figure out how to purchase their groceries. And there are some solutions, and I hope that you seek those solutions out, which would be not only a neighbor that can clean their cabinet out. Now, that would be weird asking someone that, but the neighborhood, if you knew someone, you could mention it to them. If you have anything extra or things you're not using, someone maybe like me would be, sure, I've got macaroni and cheese boxes. I have noodle-ronies, things like that I don't use often. I'm more than happy to give. And a can of tuna, can of chicken. So that's one aspect of it. The other one would be reaching out to your local churches. And it's every church. Every single church has a way and some answers on how to refer you to a food closet. They might have a food closet. I'm in my last 25 years, that's what I hear it being called, a food closet. I think that's pretty neat. It would be someone that might be on vacation, and so you would let them know that you need some immediate assistance. And you know what? I know it could be a little bit embarrassing and humiliating, but on the flip side, believe me, it isn't. You have a home. The first thing you need to really have in place is shelter. Then the obvious would be in the triangle of life. What's the most important is your food and your shelter, right? Your warmth and your clothing, and to be warm when you need to be warm in the winter and cool when you need to be cool, in the summer. So it's like this pyramid of everything that's needed, and then the lower portion would be wants. So one thing I was going to refer to you is my particular Bible, which is many people's Bibles, which is amazing. And I really need to get back into this because me and my life, I require it. We can call this life application. We can call this Christianity. We can call it many things, or non-denominational, and just say everyday life application. And this is the study Bible. If you were interested in it, it's the New International Version. The reason why I'm sharing just these few things with you is because I think that it's a gift that I can give to you, and it might help in many ways. And if it did, what a blessing, It doesn't have to be in depth. It doesn't have to be something that you feel as though I have no time for that, I can't afford it. You could probably go to a church and just say, I'm looking for the Life Application Study Bible. Because why? It's simple reading. And in the back of the Bible, which is so cool, is the dictionary. That's the concordance, is also what they call it, because I'm reading it. I'm not really knowledgeable, so what I do is I just kind of read. So say if you wanted to look up the word stress, here's one for you. It's not even in the dictionary of this Life Application Bible. Because you know what? It really is a word that has become the English language as more so we say, I am so stressed out. My mom used to say, what is that word, stress? What a horrible word. And I used to think, no, it isn't. It's a normal English language word. Well, she was probably right. My mom passed away. Not to mention, my mom passed away and I was taking care of her on Christmas. Can you believe that? Then my father as well. Christmas. So in here, they write it as, say, in a different word. So I was thinking, are you kidding? The word stress isn't in here. So when you look something up, you're going to get the definition of it, just like a dictionary. And then it's going to tell you where to go and look for this. So I thought, would it be stronghold? A stronghold, perhaps? What does that mean? Place or means of protection or refuge, Satan's power. That sounds, like when he has a stronghold over you, and that's becoming stress. What is stress? Well, stress comes in many different ways. So we have to figure out, is it strife? That means conflict between persons, okay? It could be this time of year, a lot of strife in the household during the holiday time. You have strife because you can't get the groceries that you want to get to provide a nice meal for Christmas Eve and Christmas. So there's all kinds of different words that you would look up. And I was thinking, okay, so why don't we looking through, it's interesting because you could take a little time with yourself. And if you got this Bible, it's also a simple read through and it helps you in the back. If you were interested, you could study and just take that little bit of time and learn so much on your own because it's about you. That's what life really is about, first and foremost. The first thing and the first person is yourself. Because once you fill you up and you become much more unstressed, much more at peace and filled with joy, then you are able to give to others. That's a big part of life. Are you going to feel great every day? You sure are not. Will you feel good most of the time? Don't you know people that seem like they're always in a good mood? Yeah. I don't know if they always are. Maybe they are. Maybe they've found their answer for their life. Everyone, no matter who we are, goes through some type of strife. I don't really know how to put it. You go through some type of a terrible ordeal, a situation. It could even just be daily in and out depression. That's really sad. And to have a heart for other people, maybe your space is small because you've got family, you have children, you have yourself, of course, right? You're working on you. But if you want to know one of the ways to make yourself feel better in the holiday time, maybe this works for you. Maybe you haven't tried it. Maybe it would be a great thing for you to try. First of all, try working on you. So that's what we were talking about. And the other thing is, try picking up one of these Life Application Bibles and just reading through and looking some things up in the dictionary concordance. Look towards the back, like I was saying. There's a 365-day reading plan. You could go day 1, Genesis 1, 1, 2, and 3. That's it. Very simple, very easy too. Easy read. Not many of us read the Bible like a book. Many of you were raised in the church and you're like, no way. Well, when it's life application, that means everyday life. It could be extremely helpful. It's written to be helpful. The other thing I was going to say and finish that paragraph of, and the thought of what one can do to make yourself feel better, is when you are totally just filled up, like I was saying, and there's nothing more to give. And I'm exhausted. I'm barely even going to get Christmas Eve off. I have half day. Well, I was in skilled nursing, so that was my regular life. I hear what you're saying. My kids back in time, when they were at home. It was a great time, but here's that word again, stressful. Yeah, you have to get all these things in order, Santa's presents and everything. And then I was part of a church and Bible study, and I had a lot of girlfriends, and I was spread thin. Really enjoying myself, though, looking back. You got to realize it when you're in it. So what I wanted to say is, do one thing a day or one thing when you're out and about for someone else. If you want to know the main thing that will make you feel better, and if you don't believe me, try it. It will make someone else's day. And mind you, you will run into people who are short, rude, curt, and not into it. Well, guess what? You're still putting yourself forward, and go ahead and just get a giggle out of it. Just watch as you do one simple thing. How about one time this, because you're going to remember some things and think back on it. This one gal. Now, mind you, I know that she was outside smoking. That's not my problem. That's her deal. Okay? No judgment here. But she couldn't buy her son. It ended up being her son, and he was about 10, a corn dog. So then logics come in, and I can hear her because she's right there in front of me. Oh, well, I thought, the corn dog was this much money. And, here's a little boy, he's kind of looking over. And she actually had 2 corn dogs. And, boys, they're hungry. And especially after school, kids are hungry. And I thought, well, I'm kind of irritated because she was smoking out front. So if she can afford to buy that, why can't she have put her son first? Well, you know what? That's not my business. That's not your business, Dana, right? It isn't. Who I'm blessing is not only myself, but her. And I'm making sure that, in a sense, I'm not making sure of anything. The Lord's the one that's making sure of that, because he puts it on my heart. What I meant is, I'm making sure that she knows that I'm doing this because I want to. And, it's the little boy. And so I said, don't worry, no worries. I don't know what her deal was, because it's not my business to just sit there and listen. It was something about she didn't have enough change. And I said, but that's okay. Just put it on my bill and let your little guy there just have the corn dogs. He was so happy. He was jumping up and down. And, she wasn't real thankful, but, what's she supposed to do? I didn't ask her to sit there and give me her life testimony. I don't care what she is. I just making sure that the little guy got his corn dogs, and maybe he thought, wow, that was a lesson he could learn. That was really nice of that person to help us out. And she did say, thank you. And so I thought about that, and that made me happy. It was just, it's a couple dollars, to make someone else happy. Sure, I'm only working for so many dollars per hour, and I'm taxed on it, but I don't need to think about everything all the time. It's just pay it forward. Watch your heart grow. Let's put it to you that way. If you can go out and you can do just something simple, what would really be helpful in really inclement weather, cold weather, icy and stuff? Maybe if you're going to the store and Miss Wilson down the street, and she's a widow, or has her husband who's been, she isn't really able to get out and about, her age, anything that keeps her kind of more housebound, or you just know to yourself, why don't I just reach out and ask her if I can grab her something when I go to the store, milk, some eggs, some cheese, some bread, split up your lunch meat, and just watch her bloom. Wow, I can't believe this. Nobody has ever asked me that. Sometimes you'll find that. Sometimes you'll find just something very small in everyday life will make your life so much more rich, so much more stress-free. It releases something, and it just brings joy. And doing something for someone else, working on yourself, whatever order that these come in for you, it could be the same order. You are as important as others, but of course you have to work on yourself in order for you to give. But if you all day, every day, are feeling down and bummed, and the world's done me wrong, and I can't make it, I use the word hate. I hate my job. I hate my car. I hate the ice. I hate the snow. I hate my face. I hate my hair. Just turn it around once in a while to say, you know what? I've got my legs, I've got my arms, I've got some teeth, I've got some food, I've got shelter, I've got a few dollars, I can stretch, I can figure out how to throw some beans in a pot and feed me and my family or whatever's going on. I'm going to brighten up someone else's day. How would you do that? Could you go over because you're feeling like you need a little bit of fresh air or something? Could you actually, if their front step has all the snow on it or ice on it, could you say, you know, I knew you weren't feeling well recently, or someone mentioned, or I see that you haven't shoveled your front area. Can I please get the snow off your steps and away from your porch, put a little ice down and, you know, maybe just shovel a little away, help someone. If you're over at your mailbox, you know, like in Michigan where my daughter's living, you have to keep everything clear so the postman can come in and out. It's a little more set up to where it's a little more neighborly. Everyone helps everyone. She goes out to get her mail. She says, wow, how sweet. My neighbor cleared the whole area, made her day, because she was all rigged up to go and get this done. It's the little things. It's not just Christmas. It's not just the Thanksgiving that we just went through. It's all of it in one. It's holiday. It's Hanukkah. It's precious times. It's happy holidays to us all because we all are one. We're one because we all live here together in this place called Earth. This is life. So we're put here. We all deal with this terrible news every day and everything. So let's look at doing a little bit of work on ourselves, maybe going and seeing if you can pick up a life application and you can start doing the 365-day reading plan. There's key selections from the Bible back here. It'll make it much more understandable. You can go through the dictionary. If you're feeling weary, that means without strength, endurance, or spiritual resources. We can look at, what would we look up for that? Well, life has not become a winning situation and doing good. Galatians 6:9. Looking underneath that, weeping, I wept. It's sorrow, cry, express deep sorrow. For that to help us, we would look up these different verses. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different verses that could help. That means sorrow. That's a good one to look at because many of us perhaps are feeling that way. Anything that you feel, you should be validated. And you should know that it's okay for you to feel this way. And just give this a try. Put this into play and see if it makes your day. Hey, that even rhymed. Help someone, and thank you for joining Dana's Daily Doodles. I hope you have a great day. Subscribe, follow, like, comment, and you know what? Happy holidays to you, and I hope that you do have a good holiday. Merry Christmas!